Hello, this is Geezer. We're going to do a quick video today on Tales of Shakespeare, The Tempest, because everybody wants to do that rides mountain bikes. Actually, let's talk about seat height. I just ran into this weekend helping a lady out on the trail. I met her and she was pedaling, and when she was pedaling, her knees were like that at full extension. I was explaining to her that really totally, it's hard on your knees and it totally destroys your power. She goes, so well, how do you know how to adjust your seat? And there's a couple things. First of all, before you get started, your angle of the seat, you want to get pretty close to what you would like. I run mine just at that angle. I've played with it off and on for a very long time. But let's say you want to tip it down just a breath. Loosen the back Allen. And this is not fitting on, right? There's loosen the back Allen. Turn and tighten the front Allen, and that will, if you watch the seat, tip it slightly downhill. We're tipping it down. If you want to tip it the other direction, you loosen the front and tighten the back. The side you're tightening is the way you're going to tip it. I'm going to leave this pretty close towards that because I'm pretty happy with where my seat's at. How do you know which way to set your seat height? That's just a lot of playing with it, honestly. It's pure taste. Same thing's true for the rail position. Some people like to move their seats back quite a bit. But it feels like, when I do it, it feels like I'm way behind the pedals. I don't like it. Start neutral, play with it a little forward to back. This is just a lot of tuning and personal taste, honestly. Okay, now back to the seat height. I've had people say that they can, they just put their seat down and they adjust the height of their seat using their dropper to where they're riding. Well, I understand that what you're running into doing that is you never hit this consistency. Every time that your seat comes back up, if you're using the dropper to adjust it, you may hit here one time, you may hit here another time, you may hit there the next time. You really want to set it so that the seat in the up position is where it should be for your maximum extension. Okay, there's two major ways to set your seat. The first one we're going to talk about is a little more difficult way, but it's probably the best way. And that is to, I'll put a piece of painter's tape out here to make it easier. Put a piece of tape on the wall. Take Shakespeare. It's got to be Shakespeare. No other book will work, okay? Shakespeare. Shoes off. Riding shorts. So all your stuff's where it's supposed to be. Center on the tape. Stand tall. Put it so the binder of the book is square on the wall. So it's not like this or like this. So it's actually square. Put it so the binder of the book square on the wall all the way up. You can reach around and just tag it and touch it. Top of the book, which is right here for me. Right there, I can mark it. Or if you have somebody else mark it, it makes it even a little easier. Measure from the ground, and I would recommend using metric system only because the math's easier. For me, it's centimeters. 84 centimeters, you must take that number and you go multiply it times 1.09. Okay, look, that number then you will take out, and here's where you use it. You take your pedals, and this is important, you have this set up correctly. The pedal in down position is not in the correct position. You want the pedal so the arm is a direct line to right there in the middle of the seat mount, not the front of the seat mount, not the back, but where the seat mount's actually at that little spot right there. You want the pedal to be in line with this right here. So we're gonna line them up so it's right in line with that. That's pretty close. Then what you'll do, you'll measure from the top of your pedal right here. That surface right there, don't worry about your clips. Measure from the top of the pedal. If you don't have clips, you'll use flats. To your seat. It's called the 109 method. If you do metric, like I said, it's easier because the math's easier. And if you look at that, that will be 90.1. That'll be exactly where mine's at. That's 1 centimeter less than the math would have been. So for me, that's correct. And that's how you do it. If the seats, let's say that you're 88 and I'm at 91, lower your seat. If it's 93, your math, then loosen the clamp, raise your post, adjust to that, and that's it. Okay, we'll do part 2 now. Thing is, go ahead and put your riding shoes on. And how you're going to measure this, and this is what I usually do, like if you're going to go do a rental, or if you're doing your first setup on your bike and you want something real quick and dirty just to get you out there that's pretty close. The goal is to get so your leg has just a, you don't want it locked out, you want a slight bend in your leg when you're riding. You don't want this at all, but you want a slight bend. When you're riding, you don't want your hips going, you don't want your butt going like this. Get somebody behind you. If your butt's going like this when you're pedaling, your seat's too high. You should be, as you're pedaling, your butt should be flat and you should see your legs should go up and down, but your butt shouldn't do this. So if your hips are rolling, your seat's too high more than likely. Okay. The second method that I call that we do this is, I just call it the heel method. It's not a very original name, but that's what I call it. I get on the bike, square the bike up, put my heel on the pedal, right in the middle of my ankle joint. And I run it down to the bottom. With my hip straight, my leg goes to a lock. Almost, it's not completely locked, but it's just really close to, it's right there. It's right at a lockout. See? Put my heel on. So it's right in the middle of the actual tib-fib bones, or your ankle bone. Run it down so my heel is at a lock. This is a great estimate on where to be. Since we've already measured my seat, we know it's right. So you're thinking, well, I don't want to ride with my leg locked out. Everybody tells me that's wrong, and they're absolutely right. You do not ride with your legs locked out. What happens is when you step into it and you clip in, now when you're at the bottom with your foot in the pedal on your toes, see my leg? I have to go way down there to get it locked out. It's not locked out. That's the correct riding position. So if you're on if you want to do a quick and dirty setup, measure with your heel for the seat height, and that'll get you right. That'll get you within a 1.5 centimeters ballpark of having the correct number. So there we go. Again, I'll unclip, put the heel on it, we'll run it down naturally and stop. Go back on, run it down naturally and stop. That's just about the perfect riding position right there. And that's it for Geezer's tip for the day.